What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of our OGC Nice Uncut Football Manager save here on Football Manager 20. And today we're jumping on in to the nitty gritty a little bit. We're going to jump into tactics. I think we're going to go and jump right on into tactics. We're looking to finish in that top half area. Not sure what the best route would be at this moment. I'm leaning toward a counterattack kind of play. Soak up pressure, then fluid counterattacks. Vertical tiki-taka is something I also enjoy using. But I think we're going to make one of both. So we'll roll with this first. And then we'll try... Yeah, we'll try this originally. 4-1-2-3. And then we'll look around originally. So let's see who we can get going in the positions first. And as you can see, this is what we're looking like. Mentally, Benitez is a little bit better. There's some decent ones here. Reflexes are nice. Both more technically proficient Cardinale. Mentally, though, goes to Benitez. Better handling, better kicking, better one-on-ones. And he's got better communication, eccentricity, first touch, punching, rushing out, throwing. Aggression, vision, work rate. We're going to lean Benitez to start here, I think. And then Cardinale could go ahead and be the backup. And then we'll move down the line. Let's look at striker to start. Actually, before... Yeah, we're just going to look at Claude Maurice compared to Maulida, but I'm leaning toward Dolberg up front and then Maulida out left. I believe that's how I want to go about this. Though Claude Maurice is quite the player. Did they bring down Maulida just a little bit? Perhaps. See, he's got... If I go to what I'm thinking here in terms of running forward... leaning inside forward. Let's try this and take a look. Yeah, better passing. Technique's the same. Leans this way for Maulida here. Mentally better all along the board except for flair. And then physically goes to Maulida. I think for the role we have here, so we can ignore corners. Crossing is much, much better. Long shots similar. Free kick taking we can ignore. So the two ones he's got out here are really set piece type of things that don't come into play with what we're looking for. Long throws don't necessarily. Marking, sitting back might. Bit better passing. Penalty taking we can ignore. Tackling. You know, I mean, this is probably a very, very tough one. How old is this lad? 21. He's got quite a bit to grow. Though I believe Maulida is definitely... Yeah, he's got the better potential here. A bit younger too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here with Maulida there. And we're just going to put Dolberg up front. And Maurice can come right on to the bench. Right to start. Not too bad. Atal is going to be our right back. That is not really an issue here. Malangsar is a center back. So we're going to play him on this side. Also believe we're going to play Racine Colli on the left. Let's see what he looks like in this game. He wasn't that great last year. Fullback. Teamwork looks good. Marking's alright. Tackling's pretty good. We're probably going to need another left back, I feel. I feel like to start we're going to need a left back. At right wing, we are pretty thin, to be perfectly honest. Let's compare him with Swarfi. Pretty even, pretty much, but Unas is probably the better player. So we'll start Unas and then bring Swarfi onto the bench. Ganogo's probably going to have to go onto the bench. We are very thin. So the problem is here we need, by the looks of it, a left back. And then I mean, a left back. I probably need a winger who can play on both ends, and in reality, probably another striker too. Kanogo is not too great. There aren't too many players here who are too great. There's some good players. Players are definitely going to get better, like this lad here in Saki. He is pretty well rounded as of right this second. Can grow a little bit in certain departments. Let's compare him with Soki. And Soki's going to be a good player. At the moment, Harrell is very much more polished, so Harrell may end up playing on right back, center back. The rest's going to have to be midfielder. Could probably bring in Soki onto the bench. Helmar can come on to the reserves. And now we're kind of in a brilliant spot. I'm pretty positive our midfield three is going to be this right here, and then we're going to have Walter on the bench, Tameze on the bench, Burner, and then Lusamba. What's Lusamba look like in this game this year? Not great. Not awful, but not great. Some decent things he's good at. Technique's pretty decent. Vision can definitely move up. There's very average, unfortunately. So this is probably how we're going to go with the first team. Now let's look around and see what we want everybody to be doing here. I'm not looking on balance. Vertical tiki-taka. I suppose deep lying forward is the best option, but I have a hard time coming off of advanced forward. I would like, if we're going to play vertical coming up this way, if we can have inverted wingers coming in a little bit and then going vertical this way, Dolberg can lead from the front, is probably where I'm leaning. Who is, what are we looking at here? Box to box. Let's compare him with Cyprian here. Where are you? Willen. Okay, so Cyprian better technically. Let's take a look. We're going to try it at Mazzala. Or perhaps advanced playmaker as well. Long shots are good on each first touch. They're relatively even across the board here. Work rate is good from both as well. Everything you need to play that position is relatively even, except acceleration for Cyprian. Everything else is relatively even. I can probably play them both. We'll take a look and see who's better in the box-to-box role. Where am I? There we go. Box-to-box, even. You can probably interchange these two. Mayu there, though. Pace, stamina. We'll move Cyprian forward and move Mayu back. He's got a bit more stamina, can get up and down the pitch a little bit more. And this is probably what the starting team is going to look like going into the new year. Where's passing at? 13 passing, 12 vision. What are we looking at with Dante? 15 passing. I'll make him the ball player. Play him on ball playing defender. On defend. This is probably where we're going to go. So let's change the team up a little bit. We're going to go a bit positive. Underlaps. Don't want to do underlaps. Go overlap instead. I like this a little bit more. I like the quicker tempo though, and the more direct passing. But this looks good. Counter press, counter, yes. You distribute to fullbacks as well. Take short kicks. I'm okay how he distributes it out. Higher defensive line. This is what always gets me, especially with Dante being as slow as he is. I kind of want the line just a little bit further back so they don't have as much space to get in behind. Intensity. This looks good as well, though. So we're probably going to go this way with it. And this is just going to be how it is. So I'm thinking this is how it's going to be. And then we'll got inside forward. Inverted winger. Yeah, this is what I like. 2 cutting inside. Is he left-footed? He is good. Being able to, both wingers to be able to cut inside to allow for the overlap. This roll right here. This, I'm thinking halfback. I don't want to do halfback necessarily, or we can do deep line playmaker on defend. That's probably the way to go. He's a pretty decent player to know, well-rounded. Passing's pretty good. That's probably what it's going to have to be. So this is probably what we're going to be our tactic for games we think we can win, not games against PSG and other teams like that. If we go on the road, we can probably play this on cautious and it would be okay, but we'll have to see. And then we're gonna have a type here for fluid counterattack. I don't want to be direct counterattack. Do I do the same formation? Box to box, 2. Do I have 2 defensive midfielders, 2 wingers, or do I have 2 wingers? I probably don't even have the wingers to accommodate this particular one. What about 4-2-1-3? Could I do that? Apparently not. 4-2-3-1, 4-2-1-3, but they consider it like a 4-4, 4-1-4-1. I'm just gonna pick a formation and change it around how I want to do it. So what I think is going to happen is I'm going to move this up, move you up, swap you out, and then we can go ahead and I want to play 2. Do I want to play 2 back here? And then the midfielder forward. Can I do this? Can I do this? Can anyone even play here? The problem currently is that we have players, defensive midfielder. Okay, so what if instead we have our defensive midfielder and then we have a box-to-box, or maybe not a box-to-box. Okay, so we can do a central midfielder and a deep-lying playmaker here. Where are we? So that way we have a bit further back and the midfielder who goes up and down, but not necessarily as forward as a box-to-box. And then we've got a couple of wingers. Can Unas play out here as a winger? I assume he can. He is left-footed. And Malita is right-footed, right? Should be. He is. So do we do it this way? So 2 wingers and advance forward. Or do we do a complete forward for this one? We'll do a complete forward for this. He's going to have to hold up play as well as really spear any attacks we have. And then we can do a defensive midfielder back here. And then fullbacks and defenders this way. This is probably how we're going to have to go. We'll go cautious, a bit more direct, a bit more straightforward. No overlaps, no underlaps. We'll pass into space on this. Leave that blank. Take any opportunities we can. Be more expressive. Okay. We'll play for set pieces on this one. Counter, counter press. See, I don't want to counter press, I don't think. I just want to get them back and ready. Yeah, I'm not looking to do too much of that. Distribute to the flanks. Distribute quickly. Lower, lower. Yeah, lower. That's probably going to be it. So this is probably going to be our 2 tactics going into the year. This one can be played on the road against teams that we are similar to. And then this is mainly for teams that we think are better than we are, top 4 or 5, especially on the road kind of thing, and we'll probably go with it that way. So this is probably how we're gonna go forward. So we'll see. Let's go with continue. We haven't continued yet, but now we're in it, and now we're ready to roll. So let's see what we've got here. Social feed, homegrown players, plenty coming through. I mean, as the year goes, we're definitely gonna have to pay attention to these players coming through here. As you see, we're gonna have some pretty decent ones coming our way, so we're gonna have to pay attention to how we want to go about this coming forward. Let's do the code of conduct. Missed training half a week. I'm gonna go straight to a week on missed training. Gone AWOL 1 week, and then 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks from there on out. Multiple bookings suspension. What is? Oh, these are fines, right? So a day. Originally half a week. That's fine, and then a week and a week. It'd be pretty difficult to get suspended for that, though it's a little bit different in France, the way they suspend players. Sent off for a second booking, half a week, and then a week, and a week and 2 weeks. Straight red, half a week, and then we're gonna go to 2 weeks on your third, because I mean that's just, it's just a lot. Just an unnecessary amount. I'm not sure where to go in the window, to be perfectly honest. We don't have a ton of money here, 8 million or so. No injuries, which is obviously good. Cloud Maurice is going to be a key player. Could be better than Unas. Danilo could be better than Tameze. Maulita could become much better than Kasper Dolberg. Let's go to tactics really quick and take a look at Tameze. He's pretty good, but is he better than Danilo? No, probably not. Game's scaring me a little bit. That's where the star ratings kind of mess you around a little bit. So let's introduce ourselves to the squad. So we're starting to get into it a little bit here. Win the title, top 5, top half. Dante and Kasper Dolberg want to go a little bit further than that, but we're going to do our best, of course. Zip forward we go. I'd like to finish top half. The vision, training induction, plan general training for youth squads, they can do that. Individual training for youth squads, they can do that, and I'll change it for the better players most likely. Probably leave it at that, but the vision says top half. Top half, yes, top half. So we're gonna have to be a bit shrewd with our business. We're gonna look for most likely a player that can play on either side. Not a lot of time left on Benitez's contract, but let's attend this first press conference. Excited to get into the club. Huge club that will appeal to anyone, built for success. Any reservations? Probably not. Without speaking French. Won't be easy to get my ideas across with the language barrier. We'll have to see how it goes. Maybe difficult for a while, but I'm here to learn French. I don't think this is much of an issue. I don't have any worries at all. Sark is universal. We'll roll with that one. Taking a step in a role of head coach despite being 26. I'm actually 27 now. Critics have suggested that you will struggle to command respect. Winning games is the best way to earn respect. We've learned to believe in an attacking-minded coach. We're looking to be attacking-minded. We're definitely going to try, but there are going to be some games where we cannot go all out. I'm already worried about those PSG games. I'm not going to make a ton of staff changes just yet, and that's something that always, staff-wise, difficult to kind of not necessarily get into, but it doesn't happen for me right away. Kind of just when things start to get into the thick of things later on in the year is when I start to go in and check out the staff and things like that. They're excited for a fresh start. Supporters, fans will play a huge part. How far? We're going to aim high. Gotta work hard. Cyprian's a tremendous player and integral to our success. And forward we go. So I'm not sure if we bring in loan players. I'm thinking of just depth this first season. It's going to be very difficult. Most players in game are out on loan, start the year out on loan because of the way it works. So it's, it's difficult that way. Responsive assigning scouts, handling scouting meetings. I will do the scouting meetings. I do just click on through just to keep on some of those players. You keep on scouting. Some you can just free up time for your other players there to keep on rolling, or your other scouts to keep on rolling. They get a player that comes in with a 46, you just discard it and they move on. It's just a little bit better, I feel, that way, to just cut out some of those things. We're also going to have to, when it comes to this, we're going to have to be a little bit shrewd with our business, so we're going to have to check out some of the players that who could be available come January. Things like that. Players in January are going to be free. It's a lot that way. We can actually go take a quick look right now. What I normally like to do is just quickly take a look. Contract status expiring in 6 months. We'll see if there's anybody here at the moment. We normally can get MLS teams, and as you can see, there's not too much as of this second. Scroll back up to the top. 1.5 million. Yeah, nothing necessarily crazy here. So we're gonna move back into there and then edit our search and then go to expiring in a year, and then we can get some proper players here at the end. I believe once July comes around, July 1st is when you can really take a look at it, and then we'll have a lot of players that are ready to go. Scott Sinclair ends in a year here. I remember him. Then faded away. Well, he didn't fade away. He just went off to Celtic and had a decent career there. Still is there, of course. But we'll see. But once July and August come around, we're in June. Once July, August come around, we'll kind of get into that area and see what we can really do in that scenario. And see if there are going to be any players that we can afford, would like to come into the club, that sort of thing going forward. So it's going to be, these first couple of years, we're going to have to be pretty shrewd. We're pretty low on depth. We don't have a lot of depth at all. We're going to have to take a look at some loan players as well. We're going to wait until July 1st to take a little bit of a look as we kind of move forward here. Just going to skip on forward as we save the game. But if we can bring in a loan player or two, like a winger, we have Unas here on loan already. If we can have a different kind of loanee type of winger who can play on both sides, or perhaps a left back, just someone who can come in just for the year and break up the numbers. If we find a shrewd bit of business, of course, we're going to go for it, but it's going to be rather tough to go ahead and do that sort of thing and get ourselves in a place where the squad is at a good spot, and it's just, we're gonna have a little bit to work on. The biggest issue when building a team, I feel, is creating, obviously you want a really good first team, but creating good depth along with it is where it kind of becomes an issue. You could get to a team that has a lot of depth and not too many good players necessarily, or you can come to the team where we're at, where we have some good players and not a lot of depth. And finding that balance when you go into the transfer market is always going to really show you how the future's kind of going to go your way, not your way. Finding that balance, you'll always look back at transfer windows and think, maybe this guy we spent 20 million on, we could have added a little bit more depth. We didn't necessarily need him in the end, kind of thing. So it can really determine how your save is going to go, depending on how you go about finding that balance between spending money on really good players that can upgrade the first team, or bringing in a little bit of depth to help out for you. So this is going to go ahead and scout. A lot of free transfers kind of thing. We can actually take a look at free transfers necessarily, but I don't think there are too many out there that can really help the team. If need be, we'll go into the and kind of bring back, you know, just emergency depth, if anything, off of that list. We can actually go check right now. Why not? Hopefully, you know, we'll get into a position to be able to do that. But we'll have to see. So let's go to scouting. Player search. I haven't searched too many players. Or I haven't done too many players here. Expired contracts. Pedro, Pavlich, Konchesky. See, there's not too much in terms of, yeah, recommended MacDom. 21. Let's see if we can bring him in for a trial. He's recommended at 74. It's bound to go down a little bit. Ball-winning midfielder. Just any depth, really. If he turns out to be alright, that's kind of what we want to see. Keep on scouting. Instead of another free transfer here. Currently operating at National 2 League level. Not what we want to see. Discard. These are the free transfers that we look to scout on. Not great. They normally go down from their original number, so 59 on him. Tend to go down after he's fully scouted. He's not worth bringing it back. Potential League One defensive midfielder. Exciting young prospect who's not far away from first team level. We'll have to see. Whoa. Pires, do not do anything without me. Yeah. Okay, let's let's go to the staff responsibilities and make sure we're not doing anything ridiculous here. What is this? There we go. Let's bring this up a little bit. Finalizing player sales, take control, initiating signings. Yeah, I'm just gonna take control of everything when it comes to player buys, player sales, player contracts. Just give me all of that. I don't want Pires doing what he's just done there and wasting our money. We'll go to contracts as well. Under 19s, yeah, just give me all the contracts. Pires over here trying to undermine us a little bit. Don't do that. Pelmort having a good week. He's supposed to not be too bad. Not too great at the moment, but of course get a little bit of training on him. Can actually do that right now. Central defender on defend. We're gonna have to up that defensive positioning, aren't we? Need this marking to go up quite a bit. At 10 right now. Still only 19, but not too great. I'd like it to go up. We'll see how Mactum comes along. He is here trial. Even if it's, we're gonna have to do a lot of almost buying players with the view of selling them for profit as well when it comes to this save early on. Potential League 2. You auto select with youth prospects. We've got some really good youth players. Do we even bring one or two up? Maybe the striker. He is only 16. Maybe at 16 could he possibly be brought up into the squad? We'll have to take a look. I'm not sure if he can play just yet, but we have Dolberg, we have Maulida who's starting, so, and Ganogo. We don't have a ton of striking options. Could we possibly bring him in onto the bench to create an issue here? Season ticket sales, they expect to get around the 10,000 mark. Okay, so let's go to the development center and take a look. Denise 2 overview. Okay, not where I wanted to look for that striker. Here he is. Promising striker. He's got some pretty decent stats when it comes to it, doesn't he? Advance forward. We're going to need to up his passing, his decision making. There's going to be a lot to deal with here. a lot to grow on. But I'm going to move him to the senior squad. I know it's a bit early, but we're going to make him available for the under 18 games. And he's more of a... It's a lot to train. He needs to be well-rounded. I mean, some of these physicals are not as good as we'd like them to be. So we'll work on that. Do we work on attacking movement? That's not too bad for where he is at this moment. What about final third? Composure and decision making. That's probably where we'll go. And then available for the second teams, or available for the under 19 squad. Available for next match. We'll go available for 90 minutes on the under 19 squad. And he's more of an emergency kind of guy, but having him train around the big boys it's not too bad. It's certainly not too bad. Transfer window's getting close to opening. Mactum's trial is coming close to closing. And then we're going to be able to see how he's come along, what if he can actually bring anything. We've got ball-winning midfielders already. We've got some defensive kind of guys as it is. So we'll have to see. A lot of players here on free transfers. Currently has the potential to be a League 2 player in the future. It would be a very good signing. Says a little bit, I think, about our squad at the moment, which is a touch disappointing. We don't have a ton of great players in here, of course, at the moment, but we've got some really good building pieces to really build on if we're gonna go ahead into the future and build a challenging team out of this Nice squad. We're going to have to build around those pieces we have. Dolberg, Malita, Malang Sarr at the back. Yusuf Atal is a good spot to be in as well. So we've got some good cornerstone pieces, but we're going to have to go ahead and really just be shrewd in the market, find a way to overturn players for profit, that sort of thing. I mean, we might start here with Mactum, depending on what his future looks like. Of course, his trial's just about to end. Benitez does need a new contract. These are the players here who are coming along. Remy Walters not too bad, but we'll see as we go on. Discard. Yeah, these guys sitting here on a free are on a free for a reason. Yeah, not a whole lot of anything there. We'll just scout our way through all these and move forward. And as we obviously build up, we might check in a moment to see if we could have space for another scout. Having more scouts, of course, and getting more knowledge on players is kind of where you want to be as quickly as you can. So Mactum is finished. He's not as bad as I thought he was going to be. One-footed. The player counts toward our maximum 4. We only have 2 of those, to be fair. Natural in a couple of positions. Which positions are we looking at? There we go. Mazzala and ball winner. It's not the quickest. I think we're gonna... This is just... I'm just gonna assign him to be very much depth. Breakthrough prospect, fringe player, and impact sub. Would he be alright with that? He's okay with that. Negotiate. Just trying to bring in anyone at the moment. He's on very low wages. We're gonna remove that. 1.1 thousand a week. 1.2. We can settle on 1.1 thousand a week. Bring down his appearance fee. Yeah. So I'm pretty comfortable with this, just to bring him in and see if we can actually move him on for just even a little bit of money later on, and just have that extra depth that we're really going to need going forward. He's probably going to play very, very little, and as you saw, he's not really super interested in playing at all. You can probably play him twice this year without him complaining. So I'm not too over. I mean, I'm not upset signing him, and it's not like a great signing. I don't expect him to be anything special, but you know, some of those games where we're gonna need depth going forward. Some of those cup games, playing some of these teams way down where we might be able to bring him into the midfield and, you know, just have just an extra touch of depth. He's almost here to just make sure other people are fresh, but it's very doable. It's a very friendly contract. It's $1,000 a week. He's gonna be here a max 2 years probably. We're talking less than £200,000 to even have him at the club, and then we may sell him on. It's not too bad, I don't think. I don't have too much of an issue with that. We're just incredibly thin in the squad, and it's going to be, you know, a little bit of an issue. But we're on 36 minutes here. As we go forward, some of these are probably going to end up being, you know, probably around a half hour to 45 minutes, perhaps up to the hour mark if we're really getting going. Once the games start coming along, I feel like we're going to get toward that hour mark a lot more often. But as we go, the game's saving as well. But as we go forward, I think that's probably going to be how we go about it, guys. But I'm going to end this video right here. I hope you folks have, of course, enjoyed it. Stay tuned, of course, for more. And peace.